Composite Presence is a show about the interesting friction between the weak urban tradition in Flanders and in Belgium and the interesting architectural culture and the way how this culture actually kind of seems to enjoy that weak tradition. The question of how we will live together, we sort of reinterpret it as a question of how do we build cities together. Because from that weak tradition in Flanders, there's sort of a debate and a culture that emerged, which is very much about negotiation, about taking in consideration the context, history, the work that other people do. And we've tried to make a fictional landscape here in the pavilion, which shows how diversity goes hand in hand with complementarity, with a certain aspect of harmony, how there's a lot of attention on differences, but there's also an attention on consistency. So it's a very balanced landscape which we brought together, a landscape with many old buildings, refurbishments, new buildings. Some are more flashy, some are very modest, but altogether they give us an idea of how this negotiated city, how a place where there's a strong focus on the debate, discussion on architectural culture can trigger a landscape which is very rich and variegated and very intriguing to plunge into. If you enter the pavilion through the front door, you actually walk from a somewhat more suburban situation into a sort of town square, and towards the back you will find things which are again a little bit more of a suburban condition. There we have two side rooms. One side room is used to display all the projects more in detail with some photographs of their real contexts and how they really materialized. And in the other room we actually asked 50 architects from all over the world to also do a capriccio, to also make one fictional panorama. Ask them to reflect on what sort of city their architecture belongs to according to them. In a way, brings this Belgian story also into the larger world.